All right, let's talk about Adam Warlock. Now, this is a character you probably think you have a handle on, but I'm telling you, there's this incredible, deep story, a whole parable hiding right under the surface of everything you know. So, to really get to the heart of it, we have to ask this one key question. Is Adam Warlock this savior sent down from the heavens to save everyone, or is he actually a god who's running away from his own throne, trying to escape a perfect existence? You see, on the surface, his whole story plays out like this holy mission, right? Pretty straightforward. But if you dig just a little bit deeper, it gets, well, a lot weirder. It's not a holy mission. It's more like a Faustian bargain, a deal made to escape something that's even worse than death. And this right here, this is the whole puzzle in a nutshell. Look at this. On one side, you've got him, this creature of just raw, chaotic power with no direction. And then on the other side, you've got this cosmic messiah figure. How in the world do you get from A to B? Well, the secret is that his journey is actually two totally different stories being told at once. Okay, let's jump into the first story. Act 1, the Space Messiah. This is the version most people know, the one that was very intentionally designed to be this huge cosmic epic. And this wasn't an accident at all. Back in 1972, you have writer Roy Thomas, and he's just seen the rock opera Jesus Christ Superstar, and it clicks. He sees this forgotten, kind of aimless character named him and thinks, I can do something with that. So he completely retools him from the ground up to be this superhero version of a messiah. So here's the setup. You've got this godlike creator, the high evolutionary, who's basically a cosmic gardener. He makes this perfect little world, a paradise he calls Counter-Earth. But, of course, paradise gets corrupted. This satanic-like figure, the man-beast, comes in and just wrecks the place. So now you've got a beautiful garden that's been vandalized, and it is crying out for a savior. All right, let's break down how this works. Thomas builds this whole thing around a classic 5-step messianic journey. It's an archetype you've seen before. First, you get the commission. That's when you get the mission. Then come the trials, right? The temptations, the betrayals. That leads to a sacrificial death, dying for everyone else, which naturally is followed by a resurrection. And finally, once the job's done, you have the ascension. It's a really classic structure, and you're about to see how Warlock's story hits every single beat. And check this out. It maps on perfectly. He gets his commission from the gardener. Boom. He faces all his trials down on Counter-Earth. Check. He then has this big, selfless, sacrificial death for the people there. Yep. And then he's resurrected. And get this, he's reborn inside a cave, wiser and stronger. I mean, you can't get more direct than that. And to finish it all off, his work is done, and he makes his ascension, heading off into space. It's like a complete, self-contained biblical allegory just set in the cosmos. Okay, but that's the story you see on the stained glass windows, right? That's the surface-level tale. Now, we're going to go deeper. We're going to pry up the floorboards of that cathedral and look at the much older, much darker foundation this whole thing was built on. This is where it gets really interesting. Welcome to Act 2, the Faustian God. And the thing that kicks this whole other story off, it's a realization that happens inside Warlock's own head. He figures out that being this perfect, all-knowing, all-powerful God, it's not a gift. It's an absolute curse. He says it himself. It's just a boring, hollow existence. This is what we're calling the burden of perfection. Think about it. Most heroes go on a quest for knowledge. Warlock is literally cursed by it. He has this cosmic awareness, which means he's basically choking on wisdom. He sees all the possible futures, including his own terrible destiny, where he becomes this monstrous tyrant, the Magus. Imagine knowing that. It just sucks all the meaning, all the choice, all the suspense out of life. It's total nihilism. He's just trapped in this sterile, golden cocoon of perfection, and it's killing him. So this is where we need to kind of remap the cast of characters. In this deeper, hidden story, the High Evolutionary isn't some nice, benevolent god. No. He's the Lord, the one who imposes this old, rigid, black and white morality on everything. And the Magus, Warlock's evil future self, he's basically Mephistopheles, the devil on his shoulder, whispering, "This is what you become." And that leaves Adam Warlock himself. He's our Faust, our Zarathustra. He's the weary god who realizes the only way out is down. He has to descend into humanity to find any real meaning. So let's go back to that key moment in the story, the giving of the soul gem. From the gardener's point of view, this is a noble act. He's offering a divine gift, a piece of his own soul, to guide this perfect being on a righteous mission. But from Warlock's point of view, he's not accepting a gift. He's accepting a beautiful, painful burden. It's his only way out. And this is everything. This is the choice. Look at the two options. On one hand, you have the void of perfection. It's meaningless, it's sterile, but hey, it's safe. On the other hand, you have the torment of purpose. It's going to be full of suffering and struggle, but it offers the one thing he desperately needs, meaning. So you see, his choice isn't about being a good soldier. It's a deal with the devil, a Faustian bargain just to feel something, anything, other than that absolute emptiness. All right, let's bring it all together, because this is where these two seemingly opposite stories crash into each other and create something really powerful. So here it is, the big reveal. The reason Warlock accepts the job of Messiah isn't to save Counter-Earth. He does it to save himself from the prism of being a god. The whole Space Jesus story, that's the plot, that's the what. But this deeper philosophical story we've been talking about, that's the motivation, that's the why. And that means his true salvation has nothing to do with saving a planet. It's all internal. The real climax of his entire arc is when he manages to kill his future self, the Magus. It's what you could call a suicide of the ego. He destroys the god he was supposed to become. He rejects destiny, and in that moment, he becomes free. And that's really the heart of it all. To save the man, he has to first slay the god within him. It completely flips the usual hero's journey on its head. So you see, his story doesn't end with him ascending back into the stars like a god. No, it ends with him choosing to descend, to come down into the messy, beautiful chaos of humanity. He literally says it himself. He left the cocoon of the god to walk the dirt of the earth, to be flawed, to struggle, and for the first time, to actually be alive. So I want to leave you with a final question to chew on. What if the most heroic thing you can do isn't saving the world from some big bad guy? What if instead, it's finding the courage to destroy the perfect, powerful god you are supposed to be, all for the chance to just be human?